All right. I hope I'm properly audible to all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
On your mat, keeping the back and neck straight. And when you feel ready, very gently close your eyes. And start observing your breath. Keep the body stable and relaxed. And slowly into deep breathing. Slow, long, and deep inhalations. Slow, long, and deep exhalations. Just relax your mind and prepare the mind for chanting. We'll be chanting one time, followed by the Shanti mantra. Inhale deeply for Sarve bhavantu sukhinah.
Sarve bhavantu sukhinah.
Sarve santu niramayam.
Sarve
Bhadram Pashyantu. Ma kaschit dukha Shanti. Just feel the vibrations. Join the palms together in front of the chest and rub the palms together. Place them on the eyes. Very slowly while blinking and looking at the palms. Open up your eyes. Start coming back with a big smile. And namaste to everyone. Let us begin today's session. So till now we have covered very basic breathing practices, which will help us to gain better control over our breathing and correct our breathing pattern in general. Like in our life, the way in which we are currently breathing might not be correct. So now you guys know what is the correct way of breathing, right? So yesterday we did yogic deep breathing as well, right? But in day-to-day life, abdominal breathing is the best way for you to exist and breathe, right? So today we are going to cover a very important practice, right? And in all Hatha yogic texts, this has been given a lot of importance and relevance. So the practice of Nadi Shodhana. So the practice of Nadi Shodhana, the upcoming few classes are going to be about this only. So we are going to start working from very basic practice to going to the advanced level of the practice, right? So first, let's just discuss the meaning of Nadi Shodhana, right? Because it is a very famous practice and a lot of us are practicing it correctly or not correctly. That is going to be right. So Nadi, again and again, today also in the morning in philosophy class, we discussed the meaning of Nadi, right? So all of you guys know that Nadi means the channels, the energy channels that are present in our body. Throughout our body, there are certain energy channels that are present, which carry the energy and make sure that different organs or systems of the body are functioning correct, right? So when we are talking about Nadi Shodhana, the term Shodhana, Shodhana, yeah, Shodhana, this term means purification. Yeah, to purify, right? So now we know that we are trying to purify something, and that particular thing which we are trying to purify are the energy channels that are present in the body. So not a pranayam, it is preparing you for pranayam. Okay, so in modern times, when the modern gurus introduced Nadi Shodhana, they introduced it as a pranayam, right? But if you go to Hatha yogic texts, you will see that Nadi Shodhana has been given before the practices of pranayam, and it is a way of preparing oneself for the practice of pranayam, right? And especially if you go to Hatha Yoga Pradipika, even before Shat Karma, the mention of Shat Karma, the practice of Nadi Shodhana has been given, right? When the second chapter in Hatha Yoga Pradipika opens, a very strong, connection between the breathing and the mind has been denoted over there or mentioned over there before even pranayam or what pranayam is introduced, right? So in the beginning few sessions, we discussed, how when the state of mind changes, the breathing also changes, right? So there is a very strong connection between the way in which you breathe and the state of the mind. right? And that is why, when you work with pranayam, you will see that even the mind, gets gets in sync that way. So if you're going for a very activating type of pranayam, you will see the mind also becomes more active. And if you're going for a tranquilizing pranayam, right, because the yogis, they saw that there was a very deep connection between the breathing and the state of mind, right? And pranayam is something you practice after the energy channels are purified. Suppose there is a blockage somewhere in the energy channel, right? So pranayam, what it does is it changes the course of the prana, right? For the purpose that the particular pranayam wants to achieve. But if there is blockage in some channel, right, then the pranayam won't be able to work. Why? Because now you're trying to channel something, but there is a blockage over there, so that prana won't be able to move, right? Like, sometimes when there is a traffic jam, so you cannot get from one point to the other. There is this congestion that you have to face, right? Either you take another route, or you have to face that congestion. You have to wait until that, traffic begins to dissipate, right, in order to reach your destination. So something like that, which then it won't be able to reach its destination. So sometimes when there is too much traffic, we take U-turn and we go back home, right? So same way, prana will not be able to travel or get channeled in the way in which the particular pranayam is trying to make it channel. Hence, Nadi Shodhana is a pre-practice of pranayam and not a pranayam, right? According to authentic Hatha Yogic texts, but in modern times it is seen as a pranayam, right? So first thing, it is very necessary once again to unblock all the energy channels in the body, to purify all the energy channels so that energy can travel easily through them, right? So Nadi Shodhana does this exact thing. And Nadi Shodhana has been given a lot of relevance when it comes to the chapters of pranayam. Oh, okay. Is it better now? Can you hear me better?
Yeah, let's
Yes.
try. Maybe better. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Uh, the thing should be better. I just changed the connection. I was. It's still breaking. I'll just switch off the video. Okay. Let's go for off video only then. Right. So yeah, Nadi Shodhana, like I was saying, it has been given a lot of relevance. Like I told you, all these pre-practices are going to determine how fruitful your pranayam practice is going to be. So all the breath work that we have done so far, and this Nadi Shodhana, very important once again. If the breathing is not correct, you won't be able to do pranayam properly, right? If the energy channels are blocked, again, if even if your breathing is correct and you are able to do the pranayam, there is some blockage which stops you from getting the impact of that pranayam, right? It's going to you know hamper or hinder. It won't be as fruitful, right? So when you practice Nadi Shodhana, there are certain things that you have to keep in mind, right? And I will be elaborating on that. But first, let me just one time tell you the relevance. So according to a lot of like, um, in a lot of places, Nadi Shodhana has been placed really high above, right, in the practices. Right? Why? Because it is said that only through this practice a lot can be achieved, right? We do not know how to, like most of us, we have energy blockages in our body somewhere or the other, which obstructs our day-to-day living, the way in which we deal with something, the way in which we function. There is a lot of obstruction in these things because prana is blocked some, right? So when we work with Nadi Shodhana and we purify and unblock the energy channels, we see that, immense benefit is derived out of it. Just when you do a few rounds of this practice, you will feel very, very relieved. You will feel very, very like, stable and calm and peaceful because of the nature of this practice, right? And in fact, some texts have gone as far as saying that only Nadi Shodhana is enough. You don't have to step into the practice of pranayama. If you practice Nadi Shodhana properly, that is going to give you in all the benefits of the pranayama. Why? Because I told you in the beginning of the classes also, when you are practicing pranayama, what you are looking for is the 𝐾𝐽-𝐸, the retention that happens naturally. And if you practice Nadi Shodhana properly, then this state is automatically achieved, and you don't have to, go through all the pranayama practices to get to this point, right? So when we talk of Nadi Shodhana, first very important thing is that we are in a sitting position. So from now onwards, all the practices that I introduced, except one or two maybe. But apart from that, all the practices have to be done in a sitting position. So Nadi Shodhana is done in a sitting position where the back and neck remain straight. Right? So now no laying down, no second option, right? So whenever you're making somebody practice Nadi Shodhana, make sure they are able to sit in any comfortable posture, keeping the back and neck straight and body as stable as possible, right? Next thing that is very necessary when you practice Nadi Shodhana is the position of the hands, right? So there is a change in the position of your hands when you do Nadi Shodhana. So let me just try. I hope my video doesn't break, but I will have to show this to you. So left hand can be placed on the knee like we were doing that earlier, we were placing it on the knee, palms facing upwards or adopting any mudra. So this is all right for left hand. With the right hand, we form the Nasagra mudra, right? So I'll just write it down in the chat box also. Nasagra Nasagra mudra, Mudra. Or the second one is the Pranav mudra. Pranav, Pranav, right? So depending on which one you find more comfortable and in which one you can sit for a longer period of time, you can either go for the first one, the Nasagra mudra. So you are going to use the right hand. First thing is you are always going to use your right hand. Second thing, you're going to place the first two fingers on your forehead between both the eyebrows. So over here, your position is going to be like this, right? Which will leave the remaining two fingers, the rest, the ring finger and the little finger, and the thumb free for you, right? So when you form this mudra, you're going to be like this, right? And then you can just gently close and open both the nostrils. So for right nostril, you will use the thumb to close and open it, right? And for the left nostril, you can either go for the ring finger or you can curl them a little bit and use both the ring and the little finger, right? This position. Now, when you take this position, do not tilt your head down. So sometimes what happens is we take the head down and place the hand like this. So your neck should remain straight and hand will go up and match this position, right? So hand has to go up, match this position. And you are going to very gently close the nostrils, right? So one thing is if I close the nostril too much, there is going to be this extra push that is going to be there and it's going to change the shape of my nose. See, it's changing the entire shape. It's putting it in the other opposite direction, right? So very gently, you're not going to go for this, like, too much pressure is not to be placed. Very slowly, you are going to close and then open. Because if you go for the alternate, if you go for closing this, applying too much pressure on this nostril, it's going to obstruct the other one as well, right? If you do this and you press this thing, then you will see that the other nostril, because the shape is a little bit, changing that way, the other nostril is also obstructed a little bit. So we have to avoid this. We are going to just simply, the fingers are placed very lightly to close the nostrils. So you are not going to apply all the force over here so that the nostril remains closed. You just need to place that very gently and press that the nostril is closed, right? So do not go for extra, just ample pressure that will keep the nostril closed. So this is your Nasagra mudra, right? Another thing, when you form this mudra, you are taking the hand up. So sometimes people go for this. So when the elbow is away from the body, the shoulder goes up. By default, there is strain on the shoulder. So keep the elbow as close to your chest as possible, right? When you do this thing, you can see that the shoulder over here, earlier it was going like this. Now it has come down, it is relaxed, right? Keeping the elbow close to your body. Now it's very easy, right? Now I can easily switch between both the nostrils, right? Initially, it is going to, of course, cause you a lot of heaviness over here, but eventually you are going to get used to this, right? The other mudra. So the second mudra that you can adopt for doing Nadi Shodhana is folding the first two fingers and placing them on the base of the feet. This is the Pranav mudra, right? And again, the first two fingers which were earlier placed on the forehead, now they go down and same thing is happening. The thumb, the ring finger and the little finger, these three remain open so that you can shift from one nostril to the other. Again, elbow is not away, elbow is close to the body and the hand is taken up, the neck is not taken down over here, or you do not form a curve in the neck. You are going to take the hand up and very lightly and gently you are going to shift the nostril, right? So these two mudras can be adopted when you do Nadi Shodhana. So let me just come to a little bit logic behind it, and then today we are going to in fact go for a pre-practice of Nadi Shodhana, right? So today we are going to only prepare ourselves for the practice of Nadi Shodhana. Tomorrow we are going to do next stage, then we will finally enter the practice. All right. So today we are going to only prepare ourselves. Okay. So the relevance of the mudras that we have adopted, this can be seen when we, in the yogic concept, when you see that the hand, the 5 fingers, they represent one element each, right? So all the 5 fingers, they are representing one element, and when they represent these elements, then the way in which you join the hands, or the 2 elements that you join together, they work on that part or that element of the body, right? So when we see the 5 fingers, when you see your right hand, the 5 fingers, the thumb is representing your fire element. Okay, thumb represents fire element. Then your index finger is representing the air element. Okay. Your middle finger represents the space element, ether. Then when we go to ring finger, this represents the earth element, and little finger represents the water element. So Agni, Vayu, Akash, Prithvi, Jal in Hindi, right? And for English, again, as I said, fire, air, ether, earth, and water. 5 elements represented by these 5 fingers, right? So when you place the first 2 fingers on the eyebrow center or fold them up, their role is not there, right? When we are changing the nostrils, right? The role which is played mostly is by the thumb, the ring finger, and the little finger, right? So if you would see earlier today in the morning in Hatha Yoga class, we discussed, how the right nostril represents the sun energy, right? Sun is associated with heat, with fire, right? And how the left side is, representing the cold nature, right? So cold element, right? So which is mostly seen in earth element and water element, right? So if you form this same mudra with the left hand, you will see that when you take the left hand up, you are going to do the opposite thing. So right now, if I take the right hand, form this mudra with the right hand, my right nostril, which is representing warmth, is closed by something warm. The thumb representing the fire, right? And the left nostril, which is representing cold, right, is closed by the water and the earth element, right? So it is closed by something which has the quality of coolness, right? And if you do the same mudra with the left hand, you will see it is reversed. Now fire is closing the opposite energy or the opposite quality, right? And other one is doing the exact opposite, right? So both vice versa is happening. So we have to avoid this thing. We are going to always close the right nostril with the thumb and the left nostril with either the ring finger or the ring finger and the little finger. So this is why you form this mudra like this, right? And sometimes what happens is people get tired when they are doing from the right side. So they form the same mudra and start practicing from left side, right? Which is a very common error, which is seen in the practice of either Anulom Vilom or Nadi Shodhana, right? So you have to avoid this. You have to form the mudra only with the right hand, right? Another very important thing when we talk of Nadi Shodhana, we are not talking of Anulom Vilom. So Anulom Vilom and Nadi Shodhana are a little bit different from one another, right? So Anulom Vilom, when we talk of Anulom Vilom practice, we are going for continuous breathing. We are continuing the breath from one nostril to the other, then other nostril to the first one, right? Like this. But when Nadi Shodhana, this word is used, then retention is a part of it, right? So you have to retain the breath when you are practicing Nadi Shodhana. But Anulom Vilom is a continuous practice, right? Nadi Shodhana and Anulom Vilom, both of them are very famously known as alternate nostril breathing, right? So technique I will tell you in upcoming days when we do that. Today we are going to, go for pre-practice. Even we are going to prepare for this stage where we can do alternate nostril breathing. So for that, it is quite essential that both the nostrils are open, right? If one of my nostrils is blocked due to cough, cold, or conditions like fever, I will not be able to practice correctly, right? So in those cases, once again, for mucus, you can go for Shatkarma practice like Jal Neti, or you can, the pre-practice that we are doing today. This is going to ensure that the flow in both the nostrils is balanced, right? And then we can go into the practice of Anulom Vilom, which is the next stage which we will do tomorrow. So today we are just going to make sure that the air is flowing freely through both the nostrils, right? So this technique should not be practiced once again if you have fever or, you have too severe of a cold, right? So in those circumstances, when you are facing this thing, avoid this practice, right? Even the pre-practice has to be avoided. At that point of time, focus on your healing. So in severe cold and cough and in fever, these three conditions, don't even go for this practice, right? Wait for your body to heal. Apart from that, if you think that the nostrils are not balanced, then this is a great practice for you to do to prepare yourself for stepping into the next stage, right? So for today, what we will be doing mainly is, first we are going to practice the previous practices that we have covered so far, right? And today, for a change, we are going to do the same thing. We are going to form the Pranav Mudra or the Asadra Mudra, right? And we are going to just close one nostril and inhale and exhale through the other nostril, right? So if I close my right nostril, I will inhale and exhale. To the left nostril, right? So breath has to be completely normal. We are not going to change how we breathe. Just normally as you inhale and exhale, you're going to do that. Just you're going to keep one nostril closed, right? So don't exceed your capacity as long as your breath is. Just inhale that much and then exhale. But try that you keep the ratio of the breath equal, right? So if inhalation is taking you, say, 2 seconds or 3 seconds, then exhalation is also taking you 2 or 3 seconds. So today the pre-practice that we are going to do is going to be just simply closing one nostril and inhaling and exhaling through the other one, right? And then doing the same thing on the opposite side, closing the other nostril and inhaling and exhaling through the one that we have opened. So both inhalation and exhalation is taking place from the same nostril for today because it is a pre-practice. So tomorrow I will introduce Nadi Shodhana and Anulom Vilom more deeply. But for today, we are just working on preparing ourselves. Any doubt in what we have to do today?
Yes, I would like to ask you about the left and right nostril, because you have mentioned that these represent different, let's say, energies. Which ones are they? Because I don't know.
Okay, so in morning philosophy, we discussed, the left side represents more of the moon type of energy and the feminine energy, the right. Energy related with calmness and coolness overall. And right side represents the energetic, the sun type of energy. So same thing when you have the fire element, you are going to place it on that nostril. That is how I connected both the things. So these are the two energies that both the nostrils are represented.
Okay, yes, you're right. I was present at the philosophy class, but somehow I haven't noticed. Thank you.
No worries, no worries. You are just beginning to learn, so it will take you a while to remember the things also, right? So for now, just follow my instructions, right? Are there any other doubts before we begin the practice? Did you guys understand what you have to do today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, great. Good. So let's then directly dive into the practice. So we're going to go for abdominal breathing and chest breathing. And then we will take a few yogic deep breaths. And then we will do this practice where we are closing each nostril and inhaling and exhaling seven times from each side. I will be instructing you as we begin the practice, so don't worry, right? Just an overall brief idea. So sit comfortably on your mat. Keep the back and neck straight. And when you feel ready, you can gently close your eyes. Start observing your breath. The natural flow of your breath as you inhale and as you exhale. Keep your body relaxed and be aligned in your posture. Very slowly place your right hand on your abdomen. You're going to begin with abdominal breathing. Exhale completely and slowly begin to inhale, keeping the mind engaged with the movement of the abdomen. As you inhale, the abdomen moves out. As you exhale, the abdomen goes in. Just continue your practice, feeling each and every breath and the movement of your abdomen with the breathing. Just feel each and every breath. We'll just take 3 more breaths and then suspend the practice of abdominal breathing. Very slowly and gently, once you finish the breaths, place your right hand back on the knee and just observe the natural flow of your breathing. Feel the difference in your breath and your state of mind. Keep the back and neck straight and place your right hand on your chest, preparing yourself for thoracic breathing. Exhale completely. And as you begin to inhale, feel the expansion in your chest. As you exhale, feel the lungs contract and the rib cage go in. And continue your breathing in this manner. Complete 3 more breaths of thoracic breathing. And once you do so, you can gently bring your hand down, place it on the knees, and just observe the natural flow of your breathing. Just feel the change in your breath. Again, keep the back neck straight. If you feel the need, you can change your posture. Otherwise, try to remain in the same posture. We are going to practice yogic deep breathing now. So keeping the back and neck straight, you can place one hand on your abdomen, one hand on your chest, just to get a better idea of the movement. Exhale completely and feel the abdomen contract in. And slowly begin to inhale, expanding the abdomen and the chest, and filling in a little bit more air to feel the rise in the collarbones. As you exhale, feel the collarbones drop down, chest go in, and full contraction in your abdomen. And then begin the next cycle of the breath. Continue and deepen your practice with each consecutive breath. Three more yogic deep breaths, and then you can suspend the practice. Once you complete the rounds, you can relax both your hands. Keep the back and neck straight. And just observe the change from abdominal breathing, thoracic breathing, to yogic deep breathing. And now, let's just begin with the practice for the day. Form the prana or the nasagra mudra with your hands. And keeping back neck straight, gently close the right nostril with the thumb and inhale and exhale 7 times through the left nostril. Once you complete your practice, change the nostril, close the left nostril, open the right nostril, and take 7 breaths from the right nostril. Once you complete the 7 breaths, relax your hand. Just see how you feel, how your breath is. We'll chant Om one time, followed by 3 Shantis. Keeping the back and neck straight, inhale for Om. Shanti. Join the palms together in front of the chest, just bow down. And let's take out this time to feel gratitude for everything we have. Rub the palms together. Keep them on your eyes. Allowing your eyes to absorb the heat. One more time, rub the palms together. Keep them over the eyes. Very slowly while blinking and looking at the palms, begin to open up your eyes. Start coming back whenever you feel ready. Namaste to everyone. Now I will take all the doubts if you have any doubts.
𝐿𝐸𝐴𝐺 is, the breathing through the left side and 7 times and breathing through the right side 7 times. So is that the first step of Nadi shodhana breathing or one of the Nadi shodhana breathing?
No. So this is preparing you for that, because if both nostrils are not flowing properly, then you will see that you are not able to do that very well. So right now also you guys would have noticed when you just inhaled and exhaled through one nostril, from one side it would have been easier, and from the other you would have instantly felt like, in philosophy today I was telling you that one is more dominant. Now right now in this class you would have felt actually one is more free flowing and the other one is not. So before doing Nadi Shodhana, you need to balance them out a little bit, like make sure that they are flowing properly. So there is no blockage, right? Because if suppose one of them is blocked, so Nadi Shodhana you won't be able to do Nadi Shodhana properly. So this is like today we are done a preparation for tomorrow, right? And tomorrow we are going to go deeper And tomorrow I will tell you about Anulom Vilom, and then I will tell you about Nadi Shodhana. But this is the beginning for those who, feel that blockage. And in general also, just to, make sure both the nostrils are flowing freely, we do this practice.
So we
Ma'am,
are
my
just
question is, in Nasagra Mudra, why do we put our middle finger and index finger between the eyebrows?
See, that is how this mudra is formed, where, all the fingers, wherever you are placing them, there is some energetic connection that is being formed in the body. So when you talk of this mudra, then this is going to have slightly different impact, but the place where you are connecting this to, so the energy flow, like the circuit is getting complete. So mudras, when we perform mudras, there is some energy circuit that we form. So this is one of the ways in which you basically form that circuit.
Okay, thank you.
Any other doubts from anyone? No doubts?
I got a lot of doubts about Nadi Shodhana, which I will keep before the next class.
Yeah.
When
Next
it's done.
class, feel free. Yesterday I did not take any pranayama doubts also. So clavicle, I think we did yogic deep breathing. But I think with deepening of practice, you will see a shift, right? Whatever you had. So tomorrow, let's, when I go deeper, then you can ask those questions. Anulom Vilom Nadi Shodhana, all those questions. Tomorrow I'll keep some time reserved for doubts.
Thank you.
Right.
Ma'am, on Monday, next class.
Thank you very
Tomorrow.
much.
Yes, on Monday. Yeah,
Yeah.
on Monday. Yeah. So enjoy your weekend, everyone. Thanks for reminding me.
Thank you,
Everybody,
ma'am.
enjoy your weekend. And I
You
will
too.
see you guys on Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Om Shanti.